ladies and gentlemen, sales consultants and product geniuses to this certification training in order to prepare you for selling our cars. I'm sure the trainers are looking after you. This video-based module is focused on your ability to present the exterior BMW DNA design features of our cars. Now, standing at the front of the car, there's a few DNA features that you could talk about. Firstly, we start with the kidney grills. So the kidney grills over the years have really developed. We actually started the concept of the kidney grills back in 1933. And that was featured on the BMW 303. And really, I mean, if you think about it, we started in 33. This has been a signature of BMW design. So there's a lot of heritage behind that. And I think it's great to be able to say to customers what you're looking at here is a design feature that's been with us since 1933, still classic in its design, but a lot more modern in its look. With that, we've got number two, you could say the twin headlights. Again, the headlights have really evolved over the years, I'd say, and today they're perhaps a little narrower, a bit wider, but you can see they're still twin headlights. And again, combined with the kidney grille, very much the face, I would say, of BMW. So those are the two, I'd say, key DNA features that you could talk about at the front of the car. Now, as we come to the side, there's a few other things that you could talk about here. Firstly, we have a long wheelbase. Now, that's another characteristic of BMW design DNA. What that gives us is far better handling characteristics. Why? Because you have a bigger footprint on the road. I always give the analogy, if you think of a table, where do you put the legs for maximum stability? You always push them as far out as possible, and that gives you less wobble, greater stability. It's the same with our cars. So we have a longer wheelbase. What that also gives us, and it's good to point this out to your customers, you get more legroom as well. Now, if we push the wheels out as far as possible, what that gives us are overhangs. Now, this area here, we would call an overhang. So that's what we call a front overhang, and at the back, we've got something similar. So we always try to keep this to an absolute minimum. And you imagine when you're braking, if you have a minimum overhang, you won't get too much lift at the back as well. So there's a safety as well as handling benefit with keeping the overhangs to a minimum. So two things we've talked about here on the side, a long wheelbase and also a short overhang. So a couple of other things I'd like to say to you as well. We have a longer bonnet, traditionally for our cars, but also what we call a set back glass house, or in some instances greenhouse. And what that means is we try to put the customers or push the driver as far back into the middle of the car as we can, which again helps us with weight distribution. So that's another feature there. So we've got the longer bonnet, and also a longer bonnet, by the way, gives you a much sportier look, I would say. And for weight distribution, you've got the setback glass house, which puts our driver and passenger pretty much in the middle of the car. Now, here's a very, very popular one, the Hofmeister Kink. This design is quite unique, I would say, to BMW. It's been with us since the 60s, I would say. And one thing you will notice is this curve is on pretty much all of our BMWs since the 60s. So that's another design feature. As we come to the back of the car, you can see another design feature is the L-shaped design, I'd say, for the headlight. And the rear lights have evolved over a period of time, but you can still see there's an L silhouette, let's say, at the headlight cluster, or the rear light cluster, I should say. So that's quite prominent, and this L shape, again, has been with us for quite some time. As we come on to the driver's side, if I open the door, one thing that you will notice as well is the driver orientation, and that's the angle towards the driver, and really all of the instruments have been designed to really focus on the driver. Something else I'd also add to that is the clarity of all the instruments. BMW for many, many years have been renowned and famous for the clarity of instrumentation. And when it comes to safety inside the car, that's absolutely essential. So we've covered some key, I would say, design DNA highlights there. So what you need to do now is practice yourself, see what it looks like, and you know what, you could even take a video and send it to one of your clients. But what's important is to practice what you say, practice how you say it, be it a sales consultant or a product genius. You need to be articulate, you need to be clear, and you need to look at it from a customer's perspective. Good luck with presenting your design DNA.